Hey guys, it's K-Jam and it's Flashback Friday. All right, I'm going to share something really personal with you guys that I wasn't sure if I was going to share, but I am going through a metamorphosis and I am not yet a butterfly. And as I try to come out of this cocoon, I realize that something I have to say may help you guys too. So in order to get the courage to share this information, I got my favorite Target pajama joggers on. Okay, so Target, holler at your girl because I needed these joggers to give me strength. And Murder, She Wrote, shout out to the late great Angela Lansbury, AKA Jessica Fletcher. I have it on the TV behind me to give me the courage to share. All right, so this is kind of an HR rant, also like spirituality, career, day job, side hustle kind of rant. So if you are an HR recruiter, I do suggest watching this video. And if you're not this type of recruiter that I'm about to talk about, then this doesn't apply to you. Okay. Especially if you are a Black recruiter, I really hope that you're not out here breaking spirits. But let me go through the whole process. So in full disclosure, I work as a contractor in my field. And over the last almost like 13 years, I have enjoyed contracting because it's given me the freedom to travel when I want to and do things for myself. And when the money's good, it's really good. All right, we're still in the midst of the pandemic, whether you believe it or not. Some economists say we're in a recession. Some say we're not. I'm not really sure what's up, right? But I'm telling you this, my pockets is feeling it. I do feel we are in a recession. So in the first week of October, my last contract ended and I have never been out of work this long in my life. So it's been about 5 months and it's been spirit breaking. Let me tell you how spirit breaking has been for me. I grew up in a 2-parent home. It wasn't perfect, but everybody worked. Everybody took care of kids. Everybody cooked, clean. Everybody, brought home the bacon, and I'm used to seeing that. I grew up in a West Indian household. Big ups to the island of Jamaica. And I'm used to seeing everybody hustle, okay? Hustle. And I'm a daddy's girl. So I preface this by telling you the situation I'm in. Some of it has to do with being a daddy's girl, because if I wasn't a daddy's girl or I didn't have a daddy, couldn't find my daddy, didn't know who my daddy was, I would probably have an OnlyFans up right now. I would probably just start off for the people that have little foot fetishes, and I would just put my feet up. I think some white girl on 90 Day Fiance definitely said her and her husband, they made about $90,000 last year just showing off her feet. I'm like, and I'm not knocking it. I'm not knocking it. Becky's brother's wife. And the sister's name is really Becky. I'm not trying to be funny. Y'all know the family. They're Andre's in-laws, if y'all watch 90 Day Fiance, okay? Anyway, and Libby's family. So now, after losing my job, I really expected to only be out of work for about a month or two. And it's been literally a struggle. It's been a struggle. I have my daddy, one of my brothers, Mikey. I have 2 married couple friends that have really been helping me. And I'm just gonna let you know that this video is not really for kids, because I will mention some dark moments. And if you're a kid, if you're under 18, this is probably not gonna be for you, but it is about careers and things like that. But I'm gonna preface it so TikTok, YouTube, IG, whatever, they know I'm saying this is not really for the kiddies. All right, so I have several degrees. I never talk about my day job. I never, ever talk about my day job. As far as me being a lifestyle blogger, I'll talk about anything, even intimacy, even intercourse, but I do not like to talk about my day job. There are people in my field, which is a very male-dominated field. They like talking about their day job. That's the thing that brings them joy. Power to you, brothers and sisters, but for me, I know God has a greater plan. We are currently in Lent, and I feel, I do my fasting, but I definitely feel like this Lenten season, my biggest thing is to try to get closer to God, because my faith has really been shaken by not working and having to ask people for help. I don't like to ask for help. I like to be the person that people come to. And now I'm in a position where closed mouths don't get fed. You have to open up your mouth. All right, now for the recruiting rant. So I've been applying to jobs I'm qualified for, overqualified for. As long as the money's good and it's an 8-hour a day type of thing, preferably work from home, I've been applying to it, okay? I have interviewed, made it to second rounds of interviews, still didn't get the job. Every now and then I see companies reposting the job, which is very frustrating to me, because if you've interviewed a couple, let's say 20, 30 people, and maybe 1,000 people, you know, applied for it, because LinkedIn and Indeed sometimes will really tell you how many people have applied for this job. And then y'all go ahead and repost the job. It's just disrespectful. What I've been going through with these recruiters is crazy. I am highly educated. And at this point, short of selling drugs and selling cat, I am open to whatever that is going to be just a regular 9-to-5. I say just a regular 9-to-5 because for the last, I think, almost 13 years, I have been working 12 plus hours a day, 6 to 7 days a week. If you know me personally, you know that's my actual hustle. And what it's doing is I have burnout, and then it's also keeping me from working on my personal brand. And I am manifesting that in 2023, my personal brand is going to take off. I am going to walk into my purpose in 2023. KJM is going to do that. But I am the type of person that I still need to be able to keep a roof over my head, and I don't want to have to worry about keeping the lights on. So when I talk to these recruiters, I'm like, don't pitch me something that's not going to keep the lights on. I need to be able to pay my bills. I need to be able to eat. And the thing I'm running in with recruiters is, especially for the ones that are not in my field, is I'm running in with people who are inconsistent. I'll talk to people and they'll be like, yeah, I meant to call you 2 weeks ago or whatever. I actually had a recruiter tell me that he had COVID, and that's why I hadn't heard from him in 2 weeks. I gave him a pass on that because I can understand that, right? That you were severely sick and you were trying to take care of yourself and your family. Recruiters are human too. Some of you are bottom feeders and gatekeepers though, and this is the issue. With all my degrees, and I've gone to a PWI and an HBCU, so I'm versed in both. With all my damn degrees and experience, I also have recruiters ask me, but can you read and write? I didn't pay for those degrees. I know that down in Florida, some of them nurses was over there buying their degrees, but in my field, you can't buy your degree. Okay, I don't even know how they pull that off in Florida. But baby, this is the North, okay? In the Jersey, NYC, New York area, baby, your credentials, you could have a PhD and you could still be at like the Super Walmart working. And I'm not even knocking that. But I don't want to be in a place where I'm taking jobs that actually do not pay my bills. So I've applied for things I'm qualified for, overqualified for, because the good Lord is telling me aim high. I've applied to things that I'm overqualified for. So let's talk about the recruiters with the overqualification. They love to make it seem that anything that you have accomplished is not much. And let me just tell you, if you're the type of recruiter where you're coming across a lot of accomplished people, you're being inconsistent, you're not calling them back. I've had recruiters not respond and even tell me that I don't have the job, okay? And I understand it's part of my job to follow up with you guys. But some of you know that you have no intention of being professional, and I'm gonna throw the word out, professional. When I am doing my day job, I am responsible for talking to people, responding to people, and I am an early morning person. So a lot of times if somebody even shoots me like an email when I was asleep, they may have a response from me by 6 a.m. because I've been up, I've been meditating, I've been talking to the Lord, I've been doing a whole bunch of stuff. And that's fine and dandy. I understand not everybody works that way. I am a bit of a workaholic. And, you know, that's a thing I'm trying to work on, because I'm realizing your personal brand is what you should be working really hard at. But I'm still the type of person that needs to mix a day job with entrepreneurship. As I'm trying to work on entrepreneurship, the day job situation is really getting me up the ass with literally no lube. Okay? For the adults, you know what that means. And it's crazy. It's been spirit breaking. I feel like I'm a short man with a 2-inch slong. And I mean 2 inches hard, not 2 inches soft. There's nowhere to go from 2 inches hard. That's how I've been feeling. And I feel like that schlong is tucked behind me. Yes, this is some of the stuff I have been going through. And I'm trying to really be vocal about it, because I know, especially big tech has really been laying off a lot of people in the last couple of months. I have seen some great writers. I was following this sister that has written for all these shows, and she was like, if she don't find a job soon, she gonna have to go back home. Going back home is not an option, okay? I have a toxic, unsupportive mom. Yeah, I'm gonna put that out there, okay? Some of us do. I have a very supportive father, but he still needs his space. He's got his little bachelor pad, and I'm used to being independent. I'm just used to being independent, and I want my independence back. But some of you recruiters are gonna make it not only that I don't get my independence back right away, but that I may not even make it into heaven, because I'm telling you, sometimes when I'm dealing with y'all, emailing y'all, sometimes I get a text that there's an interview at Pookie Pookie's Pizza Hut, and I'm just throwing out things. And you guys have given me no information. I don't even know if you're a scammer or a real recruiter. So it's so interesting that when recruiters are out here talking to people, they're talking about professionalism. They're trying to figure out if you're a good fit. Baby, are some of y'all a good fit for your job? Because especially when you're recruiting contractors, I'm like the hoe on the beat. The pimp don't get paid. You would be the pimp, okay, the HR recruiters. Y'all don't get paid unless I'm out here greasing my ankles and getting the job done. Y'all don't get paid. So what is exactly happening out there? Now, I'll get the people who they want the specific terminology of the exact job in the resume. And I understand that some resumes go through some sort of mechanical or computer system, but even when they're handing it to somebody else, I find recruiters gatekeeping. They'd be like, KJM, but can you read and write? And I'm like, mother, do you not see this resume? I've been reading and writing since I came out the womb, okay? The womb. And I just don't understand it. Also, if you're a recruiter that you're literally posting a job, interviewing people, and then you have to keep reposting that job, why don't you be real with candidates and say, we don't have our budget together. This client is all over the place. We don't have our budget together. And we're not about to pick nobody in 2023. So stay tuned for 2025, because that's probably when this position will be filled. Okay. Now, I've had some recruiters tell me that I've made it to the final round of an interview. They blow smoke up my, and then literally a day or two, I get that rejection email. You didn't make it to the next, sorry, KJM, you didn't make it to the next round. Why are y'all not being real with people? Now, if you're a recruiter and this is not you, then that's fine. But understand that there are real people behind there. So your checks may be rolling in, but there are real people behind what you're doing. And let me tell you something. In January, I had a very, very, very dark moment, and I had a very dark day where I was going to run errands, and I am not an unalive person. I do not want to unalive myself, but I'm very much a rational thinker. And I said to myself, with all the stress and pressure I've been putting on my dad, my brother, and then with me having to reach out to friends for help, I was like, I could see why people would really end it. I could see why people may just like run their car up in something. And I'm not saying I wanted to do that. I want to make it very clear that I'm very sane and I'm not trying to unalive myself. But when that dark moment hit, I definitely text one of my homegirls. I am friends with both her and her husband. And I let her know that I'm not about to sell cat, and I'm not about to sell drugs, and I'm not headed back to my mother's house, and I do need help. And they sent that help right away. So God bless them. Also, shout out to my bestie and his wife. God bless y'all. I couldn't do anything without my daddy. Like, Papa M, I love you from here to eternity. We've been going through a low, but I promise you when I get back up, like, we're never going to go through this again. I'm going to make sure I have multiple streams of income. And part of it that has distracted me is I haven't had a lot of faith in my personal brand. And I was very much taught, like, you go to school, you work hard. My childhood was not normal. I spent most of my childhood raising children that were not mine. So both my bio and adopted sibs, and I do not regret that. I love my cubs. I do not regret that. Okay, now raising my mama was a whole nother thing, but we ain't gonna talk about that. So I've been through a lot, but from 18 and up, I focused on my education, along with guiding my cubs in their education, their careers. So whether you have a trade or you have a formal education from some sort of college or university, I want to let you know, if you're out here putting out resumes, pitching yourself, interviewing, doing the very best you can, and you're not getting a lot back, it's not you. These recruiters are the devil reincarnated. Now, I know it's not all of them. So if you feel it in your feelings and you work in HR and you're a recruiter, that means that you are it. Now, a lot of these companies sell diversity and inclusion, and they're really not trying to diversify and include nobody. What that mainly means is, let us get a white woman to fill the position because she'll be a woman and they'll fill the diversity of inclusion. They're not really trying to see black and brown faces up in the place to be. Now, what made me want to be vocal about this is, if I am such an educated, hardworking black woman in America and I'm going through this, then it means others are going through it too. So I want to let you know, there's no more education for me. I'm unless it's just learning the streets, there's no more education that I personally need to get. I have a lot of transferable skills, and I've spent some time recently pitching myself. But let me just tell you, I've only had 2 recruiters humanize me, meaning one that actually, and I do believe they are people of color. One that actually, told me I made it to the second round for a job, and I actually did make it to the second round. That job ended up being reposted. And I feel some type of way about that, but we'll let that go. But when I didn't get it, I cried because it was the first time I really wanted something in a long time. Even though I'd like to quit corporate America, I'd literally like to quit it. And I wanted to stay at home too, because let me just tell you, I've enjoyed for the last 3 years not dealing with the racism. So I am often in spaces where I'm one of 2 or one of 3. Sometimes I'm lucky I'm in a space where it is a bit more diverse. But for what I do in the field I'm in, I'm not going to see a lot of me anywhere. That's just the thing. And like I said, I don't like to talk about my day job, and I don't even want to go into the details of that. This isn't to pitch to get a job. This is if you're similarly situated. So if you're feeling like you don't have enough degrees and you wish you had had enough degrees and maybe you'd get a better job, I'm not saying you shouldn't go back to school, but go back to school because you want to. Because I'm going to tell you right now, even when you have like a PhD or something like that, these recruiters will still try to play you and tell you that you need to do more. You need to do more than what you're doing, and you're only worth like $10 an hour. When you know that PhD means so much, you worked your ass off for it, right? Another thing I can't stand about these recruiters is like, they'll literally say to you, besides getting the can you read and write, even though they see all the degrees or whatever, they will literally say to you, I'll see jobs posted and I'll say, who does this fit? They'll say you need 15 years of experience plus this degree, whatever, plus certifications. And I'm like, who fits this description? And then when I go and look at the mother salary, it's like, baby, we only about to pay you $18 an hour. I would hope if I had 15 years of experience in something, even if it was a trade, that I'd be making more than $18 an hour. And remember, this rant really started because I need to keep my lights on. What it costs to keep your lights on and my lights on are 2 different things, okay? And I know some people say live within your means. Well, baby, I used to work 12 plus hours, 6 to 7 days a week for almost 13 years because I know what kind of means I like and what kind of means I want to live in, and I would hustle. But as I'm getting older, I'm getting tired of that. Y'all see why I needed my Target joggers to really go and get deep with y'all? It's been a struggle. So if you're out there struggling, if you're having some dark moments, baby, I'm right there with you. And I am really trying to get closer to God, because the only thing I think that is going to work is for me to stay prayed up. If you're a recruiter that you're out here not following up, you're making promises that's not true, you're breaking spirits, you're only thinking about your own pocket, when you're literally recruiting most of us into toxic workspaces, okay? Because even virtually, you'll feel the heat. But I prefer virtual. I would rather be uncomfortable in my own home than be uncomfortable in a direct corporate America setting. And I feel like I've paid my dues, okay? I've been on the subway. I used to leave my house at 6:15 in the morning, and I don't return to at least 9 o'clock at night. Between buzzing it and training it and working my tail off, I'm at that place in life that I'm just getting tired of doing that shit. And like I said, an OnlyFans is not an option, okay? I had a colleague last week joke with me and say, KJ, I'm like, you are a beautiful woman. You're at that place in life where you can just have some man support you. Baby! The only man I'm really comfortable with supporting me is Papa M, because that's what daddies are supposed to do. That is what daddies do, okay? That is what daddies do. And I always say, you cannot be interviewed by Oprah or Tamron Hall. You cannot go and be interviewed by those seasoned professional women of excellence. And Gayle King, I'll add her in there. You cannot go on there and be saying that you was doing something that was against your spirit and soul without starting off as a woman, without starting off with saying, one, either you didn't know your daddy, or two, your daddy ain't alive, or three, your daddy's a deadbeat. And that is not the case. But even if you had a father that was once alive and he did everything for you, everything to keep you off the poles. And I'm not knocking stripping. I'm not knocking sex workers. No. If that's who you are and that speaks to your spirit, go ahead. I am manifesting that it's going to rain for you. But baby, I am too bougie, I am too mature, and I am too tired. And honestly, I am the type of person that the greatest relationship I have right now is with myself. And I'm trying to make it that it gets I get closer and closer to God, because I feel the insecurities, the doubts, and the lack of confidence, I really feel it's killing my relationship with God. Anybody who said that faith is easy and that you don't doubt yourself during certain moments, they lying to you. They lying to you. We are humans. He made us in his image and likeness. Okay, we are not divine like he is. So of course we're gonna have questions, and I'm having questions in my spirit. But I am manifesting that I'm gonna get that day job, work from home to keep the lights on. And then I'm going to dive in, and it's just gonna be a 9 to 5, because I'm not doing that 12+ hours. I'm nobody's spring chicken. Don't let these titties fool you. They popping up right now. Gravity hasn't come and fully gotten them. But baby, you never know what day that's gonna happen. So I got my Target joggers on, y'all, and I'm really trying to get my life right. And I know this video is really long. I'm gonna have to break it up on TikTok and Egg. Luckily, because YouTube does long formats, I won't have to break it up there. But I just want to tell you guys that I am in a dark period. I feel like March is the month of miracles, and that the light at the end of the tunnel is coming. But baby, to get to that light, I feel like I'm being challenged. I feel like I'm about to break down. And that's why I needed these joggers to be real with y'all. To be very real with y'all. And for everybody who does know me personally and they are in my field, if you enjoy it, good for you. I am the type of person, and maybe it's the Jamaican in me, that when I accomplish something, after I accomplish it, let's say it was my bachelor's, it's like, comma, what's next? And anybody that grew up in a Jamaican household, your parents don't really get impressed with like A's and A pluses. When I brought home an A one time, my dad was like, where's the plus? You know what I mean? So I want to go on to that next level and focus on my personal brand and focus on myself, but I still need to keep these lights on, and it can't involve OnlyFans. It can't involve pimping myself out, because I got a daddy that loves me extremely, and I love that man. There's nothing I wouldn't do for that man. He has held me down. And okay, I don't want to get emotional, but anyway, back to this rant. If you're an HR person, that you're out here breaking spirits, you out here just worried about your pockets and not really trying to align people with jobs that they deserve, if you're not being real, if you're not following up, if you're not at least telling the person they didn't get the job, if you're not communicating. I actually had a recruiter last week communicate something he needed from me to kind of push along the process. Now, I do not have that job yet, but I really thanked him. I said, even if we are not able to work together now, your level of professionalism by letting me know that you needed something from me and actually reaching out and calling me, not sending me some freaking text and being like, be on the corner of 1s and 2s at Starbucks, or whatever. But literally talking to me like I'm a human and I'm a person, and you want to give me this job. It's the first time I've heard somebody say they actually want to give me the job. Now, granted, everything is based on what the client decides, but I just want to let you know that no matter where you are in life, if you're looking for a better job, or if you're currently laid off, or whatever the situation is, just understand that sometimes it's these recruiters and it's just not you. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't work on yourself. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't aim for what you want. And I always tell my cubs, do not negotiate from a hungry place. So no matter how hungry I've been, okay, because I never ate so much pasta in my life. I don't even like Italian food. And I've definitely been on a pasta diet, okay, for the last couple weeks. But you know, today is Friday, and in Lent, I don't eat meat on Friday. So I'm gonna actually treat myself to some Chinese food, and that in itself is so exciting. I know I'm a little tired. I've been sick most of this week, and I didn't get a lot of sleep. I am trying to work on myself, and I'm letting you know, if you are a recruiter out here breaking spirits, I'm just letting you know. There's something called karma. What goes around comes around, and I'm gonna let you know this. When I get back on top, I'm gonna pay it forward, okay? And look out for people like myself that are in the struggle. I wanna be able to stop someone else from having that thought that, you know, maybe it's better if they're not around. And, you know, and then they wouldn't have to stress out their family around them and stuff like that. I don't wanna have to do that. I don't want to have to live that kind of life. And I'd love to be able to help and encourage someone. I was trying to decide, do I, you know, am I this candid with people? Because I realize even when you're a creator, I can get very vulnerable in my writing. But one thing I do not like talking about is my day job. I don't toot my horns on my educational pursuits. They may look impressive to other people. And at the time when I got them, they felt impressive. Okay. And I did it all for myself, my family, and the whole island of Jamaica. So big ups to everybody. Kingston 5, you know what's up. But there's more for me. And I want to let you know that when I had those dark moments, that dark moment before I texted my friend in January saying I need help, I said to myself, God is not done with me. And that's a feeling. That's a feeling I have when I jump in the ocean and I've got basic swimming skills. People ask me, like, why would you do that? And it's like I'm stepping out on faith because I really believe God is not done with me. Now, I'm not telling y'all to go ahead and jump in the ocean and you barely can swim or whatever. I always have life jackets on, but I'm not done. There's more. There's a story to be told here. And before I go, I want to shout out Brittany, the influencer that I follow on Twitter, and currently have been super, you know, inspired by her. I'm taking a course from her and Yamaya, and I just want to give them a shout out. And definitely once I finish this course, I will let you guys know what my thoughts are. And Brittany and Yamaya, just, you know, if y'all do right by me and I do the work and I get to where I'm going and get closer to my purpose, I will not stop shouting you guys' names from the rooftop. I promise you that. All right, it's KJM, it's Flashback Friday, and this is longer than I thought. And like the bob, I'm not sure if the bob is bobbing today. It's been a synthetic wig, you know, week, and so I'm doing what I could do. But anyway, Target, if y'all want to call me, because I would have not had all this strength without these Target joggers. Okay, I love these pajama joggers. I don't even own pajamas, but I had to buy some like 2 years ago for some family's, you know, Christmas sleepover thing. And baby, these joggers, when I put them on, I not only feel sexy, I feel like I'm about to change the world. So Target, call me. All right, guys, I love you. Be good to yourselves. And if you're in this place and you actually make it to the end of this video, like, y'all tell me how you feel. If you're a recruiter that's out here breaking spirits, I would say to you, try to do the opposite. Try to build people up. Try to give them hope. Try to help them keep the lights on in their homes. Try to help them be able to be in the supermarket and actually be able to buy stuff. Baby, the word budget is something I've had to been doing. The other day I wanted, you know, some Parmesan grated cheese, and I didn't get the Crafts, and I should have gotten the Crafts. I got somebody else. I don't even know what it is. It don't even taste like cheese, but it was just the cheaper thing. I want to be able to go in there and get that Parmesan grated cheese, you know, for my pasta from Kraft. That's what I like to be able to do, okay? So shout out to Kraft as well. All right, I'm out. This video is gonna be 30 minutes. I'm gonna break it up in 10-minute increments, and I hope it helps someone. Big ups to everybody that's really been helping me, and I hope I'll have an update for you guys sometime soon. Bye. Love you guys.